Okay, we're looking at Nesivos Shalom over here, right in the beginning of Chelik Aleph of his Sefer on Avoda, in the section called Nesivai Daas. These are the pathways of Daas, of consciousness and understanding. And this is really the major vision, I think, of Nesivos Shalom everywhere he goes. In all of his Svarim, the Slonimer Rebbe kind of lays it out over here very clear. And I think it's worth it to just jump in and hear what he has to say without any more introduction. So Yesod HaAvoda ve'Amud HaChasidus, the foundation of a life of service and the pillar of a life that is extraordinary. Himidas Ha'aras Hadas. It is the attribute of Ha'aras Hadas. Ha'ara from the word light or enlighten. Das, which is your mind, your consciousness. So an enlightened mind and enlightened consciousness, that is the foundation of everything, of all spiritual practice, of all service, of all chasidus. It's to get to this midah that he's calling ha'aras hadas. It's to get that your das to be inspired and awakened and enlightened to truth. Kiloshan akasov, like it says in the pasuk in Devarim, Ata haresa ladas ki Hashem hu Elokim ein od milvado. You were shown to know that Hashem is God and there is nothing outside of God. Ein od milvado. There's nothing outside of Hashem. And he's using a play on words over here. A moment ago he said that the Ikar Midah was ha'aras hadas, the enlightening of the mind. And when did we get to that state? So that was at Har Sinai. And Moshe is telling us, Ata haresa ladas, you were shown to know, and haresa, you were shown, and ha'aras is, and you were enlightened, are the same letters. And he's saying, when you were shown the das, which das? That Hashem hu Elokim, that the supernatural, loving, rachamim nature of Hashem is the same as Elokim, which we know Elokim is gematria hateva, nature, it's at God as expressed through the physical reality. Ein od milvado, there's nothing that exists outside of Hashem. That's the ultimate reality. And that's the ha'aras hadas. Your mind is enlightened to the degree that you know this, that you live with this presence. Amru Chazal, that's what Chazal meant when they said, Da kanita ma chasarta, da chasarta ma kanita. If you have das, if you've acquired das, what do you lack? And if you lack das, what do you have? What have you acquired? Right? Because it's really everything. Your whole experience in this world is measured by your level of das and how much you know the truth of that statement. Ki Hashem hu Elokim ein od milvado. Ki kol erech avodaso shel ish Yehudi, the whole value, the whole extent of a Jew's service and avodas Hashem is tali b'ha'aras daito b'hakaras abore. It's completely dependent on how clear, how enlightened and inspired one's mind is, one's consciousness is, to the recognition of the Creator, Yisbarach Shmo. Koloshin Medrash, like it says in the Medrash in Bamidbar Rabbah, Daas zu hakaras abore. When we talk about Das, there's a Medrash that says the definition of Das is God awareness. Hakaras abore, God awareness. How much do we live with that clarity? That there's the infinite loving Ein od milvado, the Ein Sof that's taking care and running and managing and directing everything that's going on in our lives, right? That's going to be the Das that he's talking about over here. Like it says in the Medrash, ala pasuk, on the verse, Yesh zahav v'rav peninim, there's gold and many precious stones, v'kli yakar sifsei das, but the precious, the valuable tool are the lips of Das. That's a pasuk in Mishlei. Yesh zahav hakol heviu nidvasan al mishkan. So the part of the pasuk that says Yesh zahav, there's gold, right? It darshans in Vayikra Rabbah that everybody brought their nidava, their gift offering to the Mishkan. Havahu dichsiv, that's what the pasuk means. V'zosa truma v'chulei. There's a pasuk that says that Klal Yisrael brought their truma to the Mishkan. That's a reference to Yesh Zahav. So there's gold, and people brought their gold to build the Mishkan. V'rav Peninim, and the many precious stones and other beautiful things. Zunid Vasam Shel Nesiim, right? This is the Nedava, the gift offering of the Nesim, of the leaders of each tribe. Dichsiv v'hanesim, the verse says, v'hanesim heviu es avnei hashoam. The Nesim brought the stones of the shoham, etc. So Klal Yisrael brings the gold. The Nesim brought the jewels, the kli yakar. But what's the spitz, the top, the great kli, the tool that was valuable? Sifsei das. That's the lips of das, of awareness, of knowing. Benoeg sheba olam. If you look at the world, Adam yeshlo zav v'kesef avanim tovos u'margalios v'das ein bo ma yeshlo. Look at the world. A person can have all the gold and all the silver and all the precious stones and pearls, but if he doesn't have das, if he doesn't have his mind, if his head's not plugged onto his neck and his shoulders, if he's not a wise person, if he's not a conscious person of what life is really about, what does he really have? Ein bo ma yeshlo. If he doesn't have das, what does he have? Kamosha mashal omer, just like the mashal says, just like the words in Chazal say, da kanita ma chasarta, da chasarta ma kanita ayin sham. Just like it says, if a person has das, then what do they lack? And if a person lacks das, what do they have? V'hainu shemarumas benidvas mishkan, and that is expressed in the hint, in the giving of the presents over in the Mishkan. Zohav v'kesef, gold and silver, v'chule, darke avodas Hashem al yidei hamidus, right? There is a way of serving God through midos. When he says midos, he means through all the different emotions, expressions of emotions. Yeah, so that's from kind of your heart down. Ulamala mehem Rav Peninim, and there's deeper than the midos is seichel, and that you're going to get from the nesiim, from those who are raised up, right? That's even higher than the regular building of the Mishkan. That's going to be a person who's thinking deeply and using their intellect. Acha ikr me ala kol, but more than your midos, having good midos and living a internally positive relational life, and more than being a deep thinker, me'al hakol hu midas hadas, shezeh haya al yidei Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. The highest of all the midos isn't just being able to feel right and think right, but it's to perceive right, and that's far deeper than anything that you're doing or behaving or experiencing. But it's the way that the lens through which you see the world. Your das is how you experience the world, and you see a world that's filled with elokus, filled with godliness, filled with hashgacha pratis, filled with energy, filled with divine providence and serendipity, or not, right? That's going to be the difference between you getting it and you just, feeling good or acting well or thinking deeply. This is going to be the top. And that was by Moshe Rabbeinu, which is the greatest contribution to the Mishkan, to building of, and the Mishkan is obviously a metaphor for a space through which God can dwell in the world. So Ovedas Hashem, a person who serves Hashem, im avodasu betzimtzum v'katnus hadas, right? If you serve and your avoda is in tzimtzum and katnus, meaning it's constricted, it's small, it's narrow, meaning your das, the way you look at things and the way you see the world is actually in a very narrow, small-minded, immature way. Mashal, who kemuva sefer kodesh chovos halavavos, like the mashal it's like the mashal in chovos halavavos in Shar Bachina, where he says, "La'osa adam sheme'az nolad hayakalu bebor ha'asurim." There was a person born in a jail cell, ume'olam lo yatsa chutz l'koslav, and he never left the walls of the jail. V'hayu kol mazonosav in beis hamalchus, and he was fed, he was nourished by the food of the government where he was living, who obviously is in charge of the jail. Uliyamim hischil gadel, and as he grew older, he matured. Ulahalal esamelach she'akol habor hu shelo, and he started to praise the king, saying, "This whole pit is the king's. This whole pit is the king's." So tzachku mimenu avdei melech, So the people who served, all the other servants of the king, laughed at him and says, "Hello, shivchacha genaihu lemelech hagadol shemalchusa b'chol hamedinos." Your shevach, you're trying to praise the king, saying, "Wow, this whole pit belongs to the king. This whole pit's the king's." Right? Your shevach is a genai. It's a disgrace to a king who actually owns many, many countries. And for you to try to say, "Look, he owns the pit. He owns the pit," it actually is a disgrace because it's so much bigger. Kain ha'adam ha'katan v'ha'metzumtzam. Ha'ovid es elokav kifi tfisas ha'metzumtzemes begadulas ha'borei. That's how a person whose small-mindedness and narrow thinking, who serves God, and everything is according to his small, limited perspective of Hashem, right? It could come out that a person is missing it. It could even be disgraceful. And I think what he's getting at over here is that there's two ways to serve, right? You can serve from, and again, this is minimizing it. Obviously, there's an infinite amount of levels and through which one can serve Hashem. But he's saying, on the spectrum, there's the top and the bottom. The bottom is when a person serves from a limited perspective, where he thinks that all that matters is, I'm just going to do mitzvahs, and I'm just going to say my tefillah, and I'm going to learn my daf yomi. I'm going to do whatever I do, and go on with my life. And I'm going to get excited about Cholent on Shabbos. I'm going to get excited about L'chaims on Simchas Torah. I'm going to get excited about presents on Hanukkah. And say, wow, God's so great. He got me Cholent. Wow, God's so great. He got me presents on Hanukkah. Wow, God's so great. I got a raise. It's not true, but it's missing the greatness and the grandeur and the bigness of what it means to connect to Hashem, what it means to live in a deeper reality, what it means to live with what's called gadlus hamochin, a mind that is expanded and sees a deeper realm and a deeper vision of what life is about, and a narrow vision where, yes, it's still very exciting to get. And it's good. It's a good thing. I'm not taking away from it at all to get excited about the small things. But what he's saying is your whole Judaism can become like the person who's praising the king for a pit, as opposed to recognizing the bigness of what you actually have access to and who's actually taking care of you and what is actually going on in life. So that's really his major introductory piece over here, which is the foundation for everything in a person's life is how much they're living with clarity and inspiration by what it is to live with Hashem, what it is to be part of that greatness, to be part of that kingdom, to be part of what it means to be alive. And the opposite of that is to the degree that one's mind is constricted, that you see a narrow vision, that there's an immature vision, and that you get stuck in fragments and isolated parts of this world instead of seeing that bigger whole and the togetherness of how everything's working together. You get stuck in kind of like the details without seeing the big picture. Okay, so let's call this for the first piece over here, and let me know if this is helpful for you. Questions, comments, feedback. And you can either email me directly or leave them in the comments below, and I will try to get back to you with them, and then we'll take a look at Os Beis over here in the next piece.